Ethanol is an organic compound and also known as ethyl alcohol with the chemical formula C2H6O. It's intoxicating agent in fermented and distilled liquors that use pure or denature as a solvent. There are two main processes for manufacture of ethanol. Fermentation of carbohydrate is one of the processes for manufacture of ethanol. Fermentation involves the transformation of carbohydrates to ethanol by growing yeast cells. The second process is the hydration of ethylene. Hydration of ethylene is achieved by passing a mixture of ethylene and a large excess of steam at high temperature and pressure over an acidic catalyst. For the first process, that is pre-treatment, corn stover feed is mixed with water. Then the mixed feed is sent to pre-treatment where it was exposed to dilute sulfuric acid. The processing of corn stover that was pre-treated with 0.2 kg water and 0.8 kg glucans at rate 1000 kg per hour is the first step in synthesis of ethanol from corn stover. For the second input, it contains H2SO4 with 0.5 kg of SO3 and 0.5 kg H2O at rate 300 kg per hour. After that, it is followed by a solid or liquid separator to remove insoluble solids in the feed to produce the output that contains 0.62 kg glucan and 0.12 kg SO3 and 0.26 kg H2O at rate 1300 kg per hour.
After that, separation column. Separation process is crucial to produce ethanol. From the flow diagram, we can see this separation column is purposed to separate the liquid from SO3, which is from H2SO4, from pre-treatment column, which is one of insoluble solid in this fluid. This separation column have one input and two output. The input is 0.2 kg glucan and 0.12 kg SO3, 0.26 H2O at rate 1300 kg per hour. The output is 0.3 kg glucan and 0.7 kg SO3 at the top at rate 200 kg per hour, and another output is 0.68 kg glucan, 0.001 kg SO3 and 0.31 kg H2O at rate 1100 kg per hour. After that, the solvent will go through to detoxification process, which is good for improving bioethanol yield during fermentation process. Lime CaOH2 was added to complete the process. 0.68 kg glucan, 0.01 kg SO3 and 0.31 kg H2O at rate 1100 kg per hour as input of this process, and then lime CaOH2 were added in this process, which is contain 0.4 kg CaO and 0.6 kg H2O at rate 400 kg per hour, and it will produce 0.499 kg glucan and 0.07 kg SO3, 0.387 kg H2O and 0.107 kg CaO at rate 1500 kg per hour. After the detoxification process, it will go through filtration process, which can be defined as the mechanical or physical process used for the separation of one substance from another, such as solids, liquids, and gases with the aid of an interposing medium. In producing ethanol, gypsum CaSO4 was discarded from solvent from filtration column. The input of this process is 0.499 kg glucan, 0.07 kg SO3, 0.387 kg H2O, and 0.107 kg CaO. And there were two output from this process, which is gypsum CaSO4 contain 0.053 kg SO3, 0.147 kg H2O, and 0.8 kg CaO at rate 200 kg per hour, and the other output is 0.576 kg glucan and 0.424 kg H2O at rate 1300 kg per hour.
In the hydrolysis step, most cellulose are converted into fermentable sugar by some suitable enzyme, such as cellulose. So, this step is also known as enzymatic hydrolysis. The main components in the feed now are glucose and other sugars that previously produced from pre-treatment step. The hemicellulose inside the feed is now converted to soluble sugars such as cellulose, mannose, and glucose via hydrolysis reaction. 1.3 kg per hour is a feed to hydrolysis that contains 0.576 kg of glucan, 0.424 kg of H2O for first input. For the second input, 200 kg per hour is a feed that contains 0.4 kg of CO, 0.4 kg of O2 and 0.2 kg of H2O. Both input produce one output that contains 0.5 of glucose, 0.5 kg of glucose, 0.394 kg of H2O, and 0.053 kg of CO and 0.053 of O2. For fermentation, the fermentable sugar obtained from the pre-treatment and hydrolysis step are sent to fermenter where they are fermented in the presence of specific microorganisms to produce ethanol. Then, the ethanol is separated from other impurities and purified by appropriate separation process. After the fermentation is complete, the presence of a fraction and suspended solid and other residues in the fermenter effluent cause low fluidicity, subsequently decreasing the efficiency of ethanol separation. Moreover, the liquid product contain ethanol is obtained from the fermentation is called beer or broth. 1.5 kg per hour is a feed to a fermentation that contains 0.5 kg of glucose, 0.394 kg of H2O, and 0.053 kg of CO and 0.053 kg of O2. For second input, it contains 1 kg of yeast at rate 200 kg per hour. Both input produce one output. 1.7 kg per hour is an output that contains 0.147 kg of ethanol, 0.411 kg of glucose, 0.348 kg of H2O, 0.047 kg of CO, and 0.047 kg of O2. A beer column is reboil stripper that removes the ethanol from a product after it has been removed from fermenters. Trays for this tower must be plug resistant because it can be very falling. 1.7 kg per hour is a feed to a beer column that contains 0.147 kg of ethanol, 0.411 kg of glucose, 0.348 kg of H2O, 0.047 kg of CO, and 0.047 kg of CO2 to produce the output, which is for the first output, it contains 0.199 kg of CO2, 0.199 kg of O2, and 0.602 kg of glucose at the rate 400 kg per hour. For second output, it contains 0.498 kg of ethanol and 0.502 kg of H2O at rate 1.3 kg per hour. There, solid components are removed at the bottom as tillage, while gaseous components such as dissolved CO2 are removed at the top.
The second distillation, called rectification column, water is separated and ethanol is concentrated to near isotope. The product that is obtained from this series of distillation processes is called hydrous ethanol, which has a purity of ethanol about 95%. 0.598 kilogram of ethanol and 0.502 kilogram of H2O is fed to rectification column at rate 1300 kilogram per hour that produce two output, which is for first output it contains 1.0 kilogram of H2O at rate 600 kg per hour. Meanwhile, for the second output contains 0.925 kg of ethanol and 0.075 kg of H2O at rate 700 kg per hour. Gases and liquids can be effectively absorbed by molecular sieve. Many systems can greatly reduce undesirable gas or liquid impurities by activating molecular sieve with a special structure. It is also capable of splitting gases or liquids based on their molecular size. In the distillation of ethanol above the azerotic point at 95.6% volume, molecular sieve is extremely important. The process of transferring water from hydrated ethanol vapor to activated molecular sieve occurs through a zone where a decrease in the carrier water content from its inlet concentration to the outlet concentration. Input contains 0.925 kg of ethanol and 0.075 kg of H2O is fed to molecular sieve at rate 700 kg per hour that produce two output. For the first output, it contains 0.656 kg of H2O at rate 18 kg per hour. Next, second output contains 1.07 kg of ethanol at rate 620 kg per hour. Gases and liquids can be effectively absorbed by molecular sieve. Many systems can greatly reduce undesirable gas or liquid impurities by activating molecular sieve with a special structure. It is also capable of splitting gases or liquids based on their molecular size. In the distillation of ethanol above the azerotic point at 95.6% volume, molecular sieve is extremely important. The process of transferring water from hydrated ethanol vapor to activated molecular sieve occurs through a zone where a decrease in the carrier water content from its inlet concentration to the outlet concentration. Input contains 0.925 kg of ethanol and 0.075 kg of H2O is fed to molecular sieve at rate 700 kg per hour that produce two output. For the first output, it contains 0.656 kg of H2O at rate 18 kg per hour. Next, second output contains 1.07 kg of ethanol at rate 620 kg per hour.
Ethanol is an important industrial chemical. It is used as a solvent in the manufacture of perfumes and pharmaceutical products. Ethanol also can be used as a transport fuel to replace gasoline and as a feedstock in chemical industry. Besides, ethanol is also the intoxicating ingredients of many alcoholic beverages such as beers, wine, and distilled spirits. Yet there is still disadvantage of ethanol. Growing corn for ethanol requires a lot of cropland space. Besides, cost of production is high and requires more energy.